Hello, you beautiful things. The Chinese Room. This is Joshyblogz in collaboration with Robert Briscoe, Little Lossoply blah blah, Curve Digital, Little LP. I don't know what it was. Little Lolita Productions, I think it was. That's disturbing. I'm surprised that would name a game producing company that. Very disturbing. Dear Esther Landmark Edition by Little Lolita Productions. Why, Dear Esther Landmark Edition? Just kidding. I want to be clear that it wasn't actually Little Lolita Productions. I don't know what it said. And I thought I would make a joke that was funny, but now it seems like very twistedly misogynistic, as usual. So, I apologize to everyone. I apologize to women and human people with feelings that are not scum like me. Okay, we want closed captions. Oh yeah, the closed captions are terrible. The thing about this game is that it goes in one ear and out the other. Like, I can't focus on it. Closed captions are so bad in this game. They ruin... It's a shame because some people need closed captions to play games. Some people are deaf, right? But this game, its closed captions ruin the feeling of the game because it has really bad closed captions. I should make a video about that later. But I think just sort of like the closed captions just sort of like blot out the screen, if you can imagine that. I'm not going to show it to you right now because it would disrupt the game video, but it's so I can't do closed captioning, which I'd normally prefer to have, and it's just very disappointing. But anyway, let's play a little Dear Esther Landmark Edition. And we're not going to resume. We're going to start from the beginning. Because I can't remember anything that happened. I find that the dialogue in this game, it's not just this game, it's several games, but this game in particular, it probably is one of the worst for me, where it seems like it's good, but it goes in one ear and out the other. You guys feel that way at all? So I'm going to try to listen a little more carefully this time. I think it's a little bit poetic, like a little bit metaphorical and a little bit sort of just vague, purposefully vague. So I'm going to try to listen carefully to this, not make it all about me like I usually do. I'm curious also to hear the director's commentary, but let's just take it one step at a time and see if we can play the game in a way that I feel like I can say, I get this.
After I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
So, I survived the shipwreck, and I was meant to die. I had stones in my belly and my shoes. I was meant to drown, but I survived somehow. There's not a lot going on in this game. There's a zoom in function. Every button zooms in. R3 and L3 do nothing. I'm going to use R2 to zoom. This is something odd and interesting that I don't know what to make of it. Okay.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been at their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
She's a magical hermit that may still be around today. It's a little confusing because it sounds like he said that the hermit died, but then he's saying, why hasn't he seen the hermit? So it's almost like he still believes that the hermit's still alive. That's a magical hermit. That's just a legend, local legend, that's all. And there's somebody named Donnelly who, let's just call the narrator Sam for now. Sam knows about. No, let's name him Nary. Nary the narrator. It's an odd choice, is that like they let you fall in this game, but they won't let you run. It seems like they could prevent you from falling if they wanted. It seems rude to allow me to fall, like, and then potentially if I fell by accident, I have to walk all the way around and go back up, and clearly that wouldn't be fun for me. So it seems a bit of a nasty thing to do, especially in a game where they won't let you run. They won't let you run, won't let you climb. It probably wouldn't be that hard to allow me to climb or run, but they won't let me do it. And why not? Because they're rude. You can sort of climb in a way that's frustrating. You won't get very far. I think there were either lazy game design choices or rude choices. Like, did they just not think about it, or were they purposefully messing with us? I imagine that by now they would have sent out an update and fixed it if it were an accident. I mean, this is a game that's gotten enough attention, so I kind of think that it must have been done maliciously. I forget that I can drown in the water. That could be dangerous. And I think if I drowned in the water, it might take me all the way back to the... I think it would take me to the shore from where I went in.
Those islands in the distance, I'm sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants and somnambulistic gods laid down for a final dreaming. I watch the sound from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
So Nary wasn't doing too well, and he's gazing off at distant islands. This is the area I tried to walk across before and fell down. This music's a bit bad, isn't it? It's like, it seems like they're messing up the song a little.
Taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
So, he stole a library book written by a strange person. Must be important, whatever's in it. Sort of all over the place, the story, isn't it? That's why it's so hard to follow, I guess. Nary's an odd guy.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or fishing boats, and notice and aid, or impose a cordon of protection. Wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff path died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this. To keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
So Nary is planning to die on the island. I don't know if we're Nary or if we are Esther. Pretty sure I could jump off the cliff and I'd be fine.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
So Esther and Nary have something in common. They're both leaving the past behind, like Lot's wife should have done, and they won't look back. And Nary found the bones of the hermit eventually, and has hidden them away for presumably Esther to find. Okay. And Esther, for some reason, would like to have the hermit's bones. Presumably.
Dear Esther, I met Paul and made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't been in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Was Paul, maybe Paul is the hermit? There's a shipwrecked boat, isn't it? We can't go this way onto these rocks. They block us off. This way must be the way forward. That's where we came from. Right, okay. And this little cave is just a circle, but we'll go into it. Have a look. See if Nary has anything to say about it.
I would leave you presents outside your retreat in this interim space between cliff and beach. I would leave you loaves and fishes. The fish stocks have been depleted and I've run out of bread. I would row you back to your homeland in a bottomless boat, but I fear we would both be driven mad by the chatter of the sea creatures.
So they made friends, and he's talking about it. And they did things together. Rode around on a boat or something. Definitely having trouble following. Do others feel similarly, or are you getting more of this than I am? I suppose I'm not the best listener, arguably. What is all this stuff? It looks like roots. It's art, I guess. And now we've come full circle. Here we are again. I want to see if this way, if I cling to the left cliff, if it will go back in the direction that I came from. Because I feel like I missed out on something by immediately going up the cliff, up the hill, instead of wandering along the beach.
Vengeance, I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. With the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
So I think Nary died on this island, or most likely will die here. And
Come back.
nope, apparently you can only fall so far. Come back. So if I die, Now he can just bring me back to life. Presumably, he's saying, come back to me, right? So I must be Esther. So we're Esther, and now he's talking to us. Me, I'm Esther. You're Esther too. Sure, you can be Esther. If you want to be Esther, you're Esther. If you're not, you're not. It's up to you. So presumably some of you won't be Esther, so I'll say we. Right, let's have a, before I go this way, let's have a look around here. Or is this just the same, this is just the same area that I fell down before, isn't it? When it brought me back to life, it sort of turned me around. I can't tell which area I was in. I think this might be the way to the next level. If it is, we'll just go to the next level, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that once I fall down here, I go to the next level. So actually, we won't go to the next level. We'll just wander around a little bit out there. I'm not going to go all the way back, I don't think, because I feel like that's a bit much, don't you think? Actually, I'm not sure how long this video's been. So, kind of messed up here. Yeah, I forgot to put the stopwatch on. I think I should save the video clip now. Let's save the video clip.